Hey everyone, welcome back to the range. My name is Matt, and I'm sitting down for this introduction because today's workout at the gym was 1,000 20-inch step-ups for time with 45 pounds on your body, either a rucksack or weighted vest. In my case, I used 2 body armor carriers with some steel and some level 4 ceramics to get to like 46 pounds. So anyways, I have a special treat for you all today to do a quick test on. As you can see from our secondary camera here, this is some dark colored 5.7x28mm. This is from R.A.N.G.E weapon systems. This is their own brass that they've introduced. Those die-hard 5.7 fans like myself know that FN is the sole producer of 5.7x28mm brass. They make all the brass and then they distribute it to Fiocchi here in the US, who loads the SS-197, the American Eagle TMJ, and the Spear Gold Dot. So up until now, there hasn't been any way to get brass for different smaller companies to load ammo. So what typically companies will do is they buy SS-197 or American Eagle TMJ or surplus brass that was demilled at one point, and then they load their own. So R.A.N.G.E weapon systems has their own brass that they introduced. It has a black coating on it. And today we're just going to run some through our Ruger 5.7, our CMMG Banshee with the 8-inch barrel, and our new DBX 5.7 also with an 8-inch barrel, just to kind of check function and velocity and make sure that they work pretty good in these guns. Temperature wise, it's only like 40 degrees outside today, overcast, pretty cold November, getting towards the end of warm days, hopefully until, December, when it's going to snow for 3 days and then magically go to 80. Up first, we'll grab our Ruger 5.7. This has a 4.92-inch barrel. We're just mainly checking for function, and we're going to grab some velocity while we're at it. This has the F5 manufacturing 5-round extended magazine on there. Still using and liking the Ruger. I did get a tandem cross victory trigger to test out in here next. Well, we had good function there. We'll have to scoop up the brass and check out the shoulder. I'll put a picture-in-picture in there if I can find most of them. But again, this is a very small sample size of only 50 rounds. Function-wise, when they do produce this, you're going to want to check a lot of it in your gun. Now we'll grab our Diamondback DBX 5.7. This has an 8-inch barrel on it. We just got this in for testing. I think I'm up to about 200 rounds and continuing. I've got a 1X Cyclops on here, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense shooting this in the pistol form because of the eye relief. I'll probably have to put the brace on this at some point that I picked up. So if it may look a little funny shooting like this. Got locked back, that's good. And finally, we'll grab our CMMG Banshee. This has an 8-inch barrel, has the radial delayed blowback. I have this on a pistol lower, R.A.N.G.E ambi charging handle, good for us southpaws. Apparently I didn't put 5 rounds in there. Sorry for the lack of math skills. Well, we had good function. We'll load up some more magazines and burn through this box of 50 and see how some of it handles a little high-speed stuff. So we've loaded the rest of this up in the 3 different magazines. We're just going to blast a few just to check if they work going pretty fast. I noticed that the coating is probably not as slick as the factory coating. It seemed to load a little harder in the Ruger magazine with the metal mag. That one was a feed issue. These are the R 37F, so they were a pretty stubby bullet, and I just jammed that bullet into the case. That's not good. Not bad. I do think the feed angle from the magazine on the Ruger 5.7 is slightly different than, say, the FN. So may want to watch that for some of these stubby bullets. Definitely prefer the more pointier bullet profile. We'll grab the DBX next. I have the gas set to 2 on this. It seems to be pretty good. I'm going to try to run a suppressor on this at some point, and I think from what I've been testing, we'll need to go up to 4 on the gas with that. That one, a light primer strike maybe? I do have an aftermarket trigger in here. I have a PSA 3.5 pound custom in here because the factory 6 pound one was a little too much pull for me. Check this one that looked like was a light primer. Went off that time. And then finally we'll grab the CMMG. Yeah, besides that little hiccup there, not bad. Mainly checking to make sure that it's extracting and feeding the next one, so I would say that's pretty good. Well, folks, I think it's probably a little too early to say this is a 100% success, but at least in my 3 samples, we had good function and velocity out of those. I think with the Ruger, those shorter, stubbier bullets like this R37F may not feed too well on that, so that may be something to consider. But if they can get this off the ground and start producing brass that other loaders can get their hands on, that potentially could hopefully spell more availability for us as shooters and potentially drive the cost per round down. Now, Elite Ammunition did offer their own brass a few years ago. I think they were probably 4 or 5 years early to the party because at the time sales had kind of slumped down and stuff, and everything was very plentiful and people weren't buying things in masses. Whereas now with COVID-19 and upcoming presidential changes, the availability of things could change. R.A.N.G.E Weapon Systems brass definitely deserves some more follow-up testing with more platforms and more round count as we have the time. I just want to give you guys a first look at it. As always, I'd like to thank my Patreon supporters, R.A.N.G.E Weapon Systems, for asking us to test these in our platforms, and of course, you all for watching. Until next time, stay toasty warm, and I'll catch you at the range.